Kevin Ducey? What's up? What's up? Welcome to another episode of Keep It Orange and Blue. I'm Ryan Evan, joined back again. Guess who's back? Back again. Ducey's back. Tell a friend. Guess who's back? What's up? What's up, Kevin? By the way, what'd you think of Jay Bagan's performance last week?
Dude, the man killed it, man. Like I said, I thought I got Wally pipped, man. What up, JB?
JB got hoodwinked.
All right, JB's already on the show already. No, dude, my man did a great job. He's loyal listener, follower, whatever you want to call it. But it also, like, I don't even know the guy, but like, I consider him a friend, man. Like, seriously, great dude. And I was really thankful he could jump in. There was no way I could have done it last Sunday night. I am doing it this Sunday night from my in-laws' basement in northern New York. So give me grace with the surroundings.
He's a New Yorker for the night.
No, dude, it like this place is way more like Wisconsin than New York City. But dude, happy to be back.
New York, yeah.
Happy to be back on the show. Happy to be here, dude. Great week to be in Illini, man. It's been awesome for us. And by the way, that might have been my favorite beat drop that we've had. So like I was kicking it to that one.
I'll keep that in the my ones and twos. I'll keep it in the playlist. Yeah. I got about 5 or 6 of them, the AI hip hop / beats. I just kind of like to change it up a little bit. And so yeah, I liked it. And by the way, Jay Bagan, I told him he pretty much earned himself locked himself anytime we need to fill in, I said Jay Bagan's it. So I said, because he provide. I wanted to say, to me, at the end of the day, he loves the show, which is great. But I think everybody who loves something so much and cares about it so much, I think should get an opportunity to try to do it, right?
Yeah, and it's on the surface, it seems easier than it actually is. And for him to step in like that was tremendous. And I'm not sitting here saying I'm a professional. I'm certainly not. But I've been on several podcasts before we ever started this one, and like, dude, I stubbed my toes plenty. So like, it's not easy, and my man kicked it. So it was awesome. So
yeah. So Jay Bagan, he's our go-to now when we need a co-host, and sometimes we might have Matt McCumber on when he's just so busy. Matt, like, I got to talk to him about if he still want to do Fade the Deuce this year. I think people have asked me, like, are y'all doing it again this year? And I've told them only if Kevin and Matt are down to do it. So
I'm for sure down. I know Matt being a new dad is hard. If not, I could probably find another knucklehead that's addicted to that stuff like I am. I'm just addicted to knowing the numbers. Like, I bet like $5 a game. I'm not. Matt goes heavy. I do not.
Yeah.
So getting someone else who's addicted to knowing the lines and understanding it, yeah, we could certainly get somebody on. But Matt's the jam. Love to have him back. So. But yeah, dude, it was a good week to be in Illini. Our guy went first round. Damask and Quincy got opportunities. We got football commits. We got a basketball release on Twitter. Like, we saw what our guys are doing. It's just a really, obviously Riley committing last week. We knew that was coming. We knew that as much as we could possibly know that, Ryan, leading into that. And then obviously it comes to fruition. I mean, we also knew that as much as you can know that about Ray J, and then he pulled out the rug from everybody. So it's always one of those things, like, you're still sitting there a little bit on bated breath, hoping it comes true. But man, just it's exciting to be in Illini right now. Jackson Buchanan's playing well at the Corn Ferry Tour. Like, I got to throw in a little golf in there. So
yeah, definitely. With Kevin Ducey, it's we got to throw some golf in. So that's no problem there. So you know what? The first topic on hand, and we got to give him
Durst, dude. We got to promote what you're doing too. So
we will.
My man Durst came through, said congrats to Ryan. So let's do not bury that lead, and let's make sure we talk about that later.
I will. I want to give Terrence Shannon his flowers and end his little thing first, and then we'll get to that. So this man has deserved it, man. Let me tell you. So. I don't know. Were you able to watch the draft, or did you just kind of hear it?
I was. I got back late Wednesday night, and that was like I was set up in my house that I just moved into with a folding lawn chair because I got my TVs on. I don't have any furniture yet, and so I'm set up. But yes, dude, locked into the NBA draft, which was a little mind-boggling in some respects. But dude, when Terrence got his name called, I could finally go to bed. So
yeah, like some of those guys that haven't played like a lick, they barely played in DL and like New Zealand, picked ahead of him. And I know this, he's an Oklahoma City fan, and that's fine. Sorry, Oklahoma City Thunder fan, yeah. And they're good, and they're gonna be contenders for years.
What are they doing?
The pick before
what are they doing?
Terrence Shannon was sitting right there. Let me ask you something. Could the Thunder have used him?
Yes. I will say this though, the two guys that the Thunder picked are uber facilitators, and that's clearly what they were looking for. I don't know what the Thunder need a big, and I think they're looking for a true facilitator, a guy who can, maybe eventually average 8, 9, 10 assists a game. And let's be real here, that is not Terrence. Terrence has a much better chance of averaging 20 points in the NBA than he does averaging 8 assists a game, even though he is a pretty darn good passer. So that makes me think that that's really what Presti was looking for. I don't really know where, like from a wing slashing 3-and-D guy, I don't really know that the Thunder needed that. But okay. Lord, Kevin needed that. Yeah. Kevin needed that because, dude, I would have been like, man, how can I get season tickets?
Yeah, what's funny is Jay Bagan's of Minnesota. He lives in the Twin Cities. So he gets Shannon to get to root for and see and probably go to the Target Center. And it was like you and him were right there, man. It was like both had a chance to get Shannon and
I've always kind of liked the T-Wolves. I liked them all the way back to the KG days, and I'm trying to think about the big guard they had, like number 7, who was Brandon something. Man, I like Terrell Brandon. I like those guys. And
they had Marbury and Garnett. Yeah, they were fun. Wally Zerbiak. They had they had a good squad back in my youth.
I'm okay with that. I don't really. Karl Anthony Towns rubs me the wrong way because I just think he should be a better player than he is. I think he should be a superstar, and he's not. But for Shannon to go to a team that made the Western Conference Finals, that is, dude, and Illinois fan said it right. Like, Terrence, if he gets into the rotation, is in a really, really great spot. And I think he will be. And I think it's because, I watched some of Gary Parrish, Matt Norlander sung his praises. You know what you're getting with him. He is going to bring the effort. He's going to bring the work diligence. He's going to be in the facility. He's not going to miss an assignment. And so I don't think that he'll be the 10th man. And I'm not arguing with my guy, Illinois fan, but there is a possibility that he doesn't get any run because they are a good team. But if he gets run on a team that is favored in the Western Conference preseason polls. Like they're going to be a top 3 seed in that conference. And that gives him an opportunity to shine on a big stage. And so I'm really excited for him. It's a really good organization. I love what the GM had to say about him. And Terrence deserves all the flowers, dude. All the stuff he's been through, and now everybody in the national media is starting to change their tune a little bit, and I'm all for that.
I think he might start out as the 10th guy, but I'm gonna be honest. I listened to Tim. I forget his last name. He was the president of the Nuggets.
Tim Conley.
Tim Conley, and then he left to go to he left the Nuggets and went to the T-Wolves.
Yeah.
He said that their second unit was lacking a scoring punch, okay?
Yep,
and that's why they drafted Rob Dillingham and Shannon to add that. And so I don't know if he'll be the 10th guy, but I think he'll be the 8th or 9th guy probably. And that meaning that he's going to be on the second unit and going to get some run. Like you watch Ayo he would play twice a game for a little while, in his youth. He would be a guy that'd come in for 6 or 7 minutes twice a game. He'd come in at the end of the first and played at the middle of the second quarter. I think you can see a lot. I think Shannon's going to get something like that. You're going to get a chance why Anthony Edwards is sitting down, why Naz Reid is in there too, because he's a baller. And Rob Dillingham, Naz Reid, Terrence Shannon, those are guys that can score. And also, here's another reason that I think Terrence is going to play, because he can lock somebody down. He plays D, okay? And nobody's going to outwork him. And I think that the Timberwolves are going to see that. And that's why they drafted him. Now, I think as you said, I think it's a great spot for him. It's a winning program, franchise already. He's uber athletic. He's already physically ready to play. He's already 3-and-D plus.
He's physical. Like where Rob Dillingham is an amazing athlete.
Yeah.
Rob Dillingham is going to lack the physicality needed for the NBA, and I think Rob Dillingham will play, and I'm not knocking him. But Terrence has the physicality to come in and play in the NBA. And then Nathan Durst, our guy, said, what do we think about Billis, what he said about him? I think what Billis said about him was, I wish Billis would have talked about what Terrence's abilities on the court more. But I also like that he took that opportunity to stand on business, if you will, and really talk about the legalities of what Terrence went through. And I'm okay with that. But at the same time, this is the best downhill driver in the entire draft class. This is a guy who averaged 23 points a game at the college level. This is a guy who I think Billis sold him short when he said when he got suspended, he was the second best player in college basketball. Well, after he came back, sans a couple games, he was the second best player in college basketball. Yep. He was actually a better basketball player the last month and a half of the season than he was at any other point. I mean, he dropped 40 in the Big Ten tournament.
He was out of this world. Okay, let's be honest. Even until the UConn game. The UConn game was a stinker for him. But let's be honest, he missed like 6 free throws against Iowa State in the Sweet 16 and still had, 25?
Right, and the UConn game, he was defended by a guy who was a lottery pick and not because of his offense. Castle was a lottery pick because of his ability to come in and lock down in D right away. And it's also easy to lock down in D when you've got the best rim protector in college basketball and Klingon behind you, who's also a lottery pick. So
yeah,
the UConn game's a little bit of an anomaly, and it was unfortunate that he finished his career with a 8-point game, but I don't think that's who Terrence Shannon is. And he's not going to be the guy at Minnesota.
Nope. He doesn't have anybody who plays with Anthony Edwards is never going to be the guy. So,
yep.
And that, that's going to be perfect for him because he can be the guy if he needed to be. But man, how awesome is it? He may never even have to be Robin because technically Karl Anthony Towns should be that,
Yep.
And you got a rim protector behind you and Gobert, and like he can just be a dude and go do his thing. You know what I'm saying?
It's a great fit. And Jay Began said it best. Billis only had so much time. Terrence Shannon deserves 3 minutes of conversation about what he went through. He got a minute and a half. So
I love that Billis stated firmly he stated his innocence from the beginning. And he didn't, and he took it to trial and he even testified that he never did it. He never changed his mind once. So he wanted everybody to know that this is a man that shouldn't be looked upon any type of way other than with respect, and that he's a stand-up dude. So
yeah, and I'll say it again. Gary Parrish said a lot of great things. Matt Norlander said a lot of great things.
Well, Gary Parrish should have, because he should have been ashamed of himself.
Right. Our man Ant Wright has said a lot of has really been carrying Terrence's water. So it's really nice to see what's happening to him. I'm really hopeful. There's always going to be a couple twerps out there that talk some shit, but I'm really hopeful that he doesn't get any of that at the NBA level. And then honestly, I'm frankly hoping he gets a little bit of it because, like our guy said earlier, he might be the 10th man. Nobody bags on the 10th man, but if he can end up being the 7th man, like Naz Reid is the 6th man on that team, is a really good 6th man. But dude, Kyle Anderson's a good player, but he is severely lacking athleticism. That's a guy where Terrence Shannon's, that's the guy who's going to fight for his spot, and that'll be interesting. Kyle Anderson is a very unique player, just the same way that Terrence Shannon is, but they are unique in completely different ways. So we'll see what happens. It's just really exciting for him.
Well, you know what? And we're going to get to have ourselves a banner raising ceremony at some point, probably this next year, when he can come and everybody can come celebrate him. 15,000 people can give him his final send-off and be in the NBA, making, by the way, $2.6 million at the first 2 years with a third and fourth year option. The third year is about $2.8 million. In the final season, which I'm sure I feel confident the Wolves will pick it up. $5.2 million his fourth year. So,
well, dude, Patrick Williams just got some ridiculous contract from the Bulls. So yeah, I'm sure it'll be fine. Lazy Forrest Gump chimed in that Draymond Green had some good things to say. If you could share that link, if you could find it, I'd really appreciate it, brother. I did not.
It was on his podcast. He said he can D up or he can lock up or something like that. That's what I saw that. Yeah.
Well, that's what Norlander said about him is like, dude, his time at Texas Tech, he was really known as a defender. And it's not like Terrence was a bad defender at Illinois, but he was relied on so heavily in the offensive game, especially this past season. I think he was probably a better defender the previous season. But when Terrence can focus on taking moments and not having to be the guy on offense, I think Terrence can be an absolute lockdown defender in the league.
Now, with that said, I won't spend too much time on this because I don't really like this making it about me, but Kevin wants me to do it. So I was going to make a little announcement anyway. I did on my Twitter and I made a video of it. But for everybody who's in the dark on X and Twitter, I will be first articles coming out here in the next day or two, joining Mike Farrell Sports as their Big Ten correspondent, the first Big Ten correspondent. So I want you guys to know I won't be focusing solely on Illinois. Illinois will be included in some of my articles, and because I'm going to be doing things throughout before football season, during football season, before, after bowl season, college football playoffs. Elite 11 camps, NBA, NFL draft combines. I can get into that stuff. I can, Big Ten media days. So basically, I'm still going to be doing this because this is my heart and my love, and I will always want to do this. But when you guys see some articles, I'm going to make them interesting and fascinating for you guys to read, because if you love college football and you love Illinois, then you're going to want to know what's going on around the Big Ten. And I'm going to do my best to get some stuff out there that maybe not everybody has heard or knew about some of the other teams and the matchups for that week or different scenarios and situations going on. But I was just honored that Mike, by the way, if anybody doesn't know, Mike Farrell literally got Rivals, and made it into something huge. He got it onto ESPN. Mike Farrell, the godfather of recruiting, got Rivals on ESPN, made it a huge thing to where Game Day was using the 4-star, 5-star stuff, 20, 25 years ago. And just recently, when they had a transition of being bought out, they let him go. So that's usually how it works when the top dog's making the most. That's how it works. He started his own website, MikeFarrellSports.com, and words got around, and he likes guys like me that grind, and he said that has thick skin and then takes a passion and pride in what they do, and that's who he wants working for him. So he's given me this opportunity. He believes in second chances, and I'm just honored to do it, man. So
yeah, it's earned, Ryan. For a long time, and I'm not going to get into too much details about this, but, people have been reluctant to give you your quote unquote flowers for the work that you've done specifically on the football side of things. Ryan has been locked in on the football side of things since he and I became friends, 6-7 years ago. And we did a podcast a couple times, and I'll be frank, it was probably my fault. I wasn't as committed to it as I am now. But Ryan and I always talked on the side about what was going on, and he always had the information, especially on the football side. And that's come to fruition on the basketball side for you as well. But I know that your passion probably lies more in the football recruiting aspect of this. And I mean, I go back to the stuff going on with Demon, or the guy who ended up at BYU.
Yeah, Igor Demon. Yeah,
yeah, and Ryan's efforts in that recruitment gave him such an inroad into what was going on with Kasparis that, like, dude, Ryan was, and it's so hard because you guys can't understand. Like, there's certain things you just can't put out in the public, and Ryan's talking to agents in Europe like, and how does he get those connections? It doesn't just happen. Like, he's doing the grind and the legwork. He's doing the grind and the legwork to get high school commitments on our podcast, to get guys like AJ Dennis. I'll just use him as an example. I mean, that just doesn't fall in your lap. And as a matter of fact, there's so many hurdles that you have to step over when you don't have alignment from some of the other like 24/7s and rivals and things like that. So it's just really well earned for you, my friend. And I'm very happy for you because you live, eat, breathe, sleep this stuff. You work hours upon hours upon hours to try and get information, and you've delivered it to the fandom for free. It's time for you to start earning like real money on this. And I'm just really excited for you. And, you know, by proxy, I mean, Ryan said this all along, dude. He's like, dude, I'm bringing you along with me in this and that. I'm going to have a bigger state. Like Ryan's like, let's look at articles together. Let's talk about this. Let's collaborate on this. It's not. And for that, I'm honored. I'm honored. Like, dude, I owe you a lot. I've loved Illinois sports. I've always felt like I have the gift of gab for Illinois sports. Everybody who's ever known me is like, dude, you should have been in broadcasting. You should have done something like this. And I always struggled with putting my love and my passion into a place where I want to work. And what I mean by that is like, I want to keep my love and my passion separate from work, but Ryan's given me an opportunity to make some of that kind of combine. And dude, you're owed and deserved all the flowers that you get, man. And for Mike Farrell to reach out to you directly is earned. And I'm very excited for you.
Appreciate it, my friend. Then thank you to everybody in the comments there. So I won't keep this much longer. But yeah, just an honor to do it. And I hope you guys follow along with me. I put it in my bio, got Mike Farrell Sports, and it's follow along there at Mike Farrell Recruiting. So any crystal balls that you see from me, and then we'll retweet them out from Mike Farrell Recruiting stuff. If it's Illini related, let's say this, if it's Illini related or Big Ten related and Illinois is involved in it, I can promise you I'm going to be in it. Like the Tyrone Burris and stuff. He ended up picking Louisville, which is crazy. You know, he's an Indianapolis kid, and it was like Illinois and Indiana, right? And then at the last minute, we had picked Indiana earlier in the day because I knew he wasn't coming to Illinois. So I was like, it's got to be Indiana. Boom. And then I get a text at 6 o'clock from an inside scoop. Somebody goes, yo, it's Louisville, and it's not public. So I'm like, all right, let's get it. So I posted the tweet. We got the Farrell Recruiting crystal ball going. So appreciate anybody and everybody out there that's helped me to get to where I've gotten. I haven't done it all by myself. I have worked hard to get it to this, but there's always been someone who believed and trusted in me, different sponsors too. And with that said, Kev, this is one thing I hadn't mentioned to you yet, but it's going to be fun because it's going to help this show out more than anything. And that is that we got a sponsor for the show, Kev. Sports Card Central. I brought it up to you.
Jason, yeah, absolutely.
Sports Card Central, dude. He has so many Illini players that he's their signing autograph memorabilia agent. And they're going to be sponsoring the show starting in August. So I just wanted to mention that. And Jason Givens is his name. And he's from Central, like he's from Olney, I believe. He's done so many different signings and cool things with, like, let's say Ty Rogers. He has Dre Gims Lawhorn. He's got Pat Bryant. He's got Gabe Yakis. He's got Aiden Lawfrey. He's got he had Johnny Newton. He's got Josh McCray. The list goes on and on. He's working on getting Will Riley. So these are guys that all are going to be able to come on our podcast because he's going to be sponsoring us, and it's a win-win. I can't guarantee that every one of them is going to come on because of that, but they're going to come on this podcast, not just to come on the podcast and he sponsors, but it's also to help promote these players and their signings because it helps them get paid, and fans love autographs and stuff. So here's the first example. Luke Altmaier has a signing July 12th in Champaign at the food court in the mall there. $20 for an autograph, $5 for other things. And he's part of he's Luke Altmaier's signing and memorabilia agent. So that's a perfect example. That was a free pub for our sponsor. And those are just similar things that we'll be doing on the podcast and talking about, and just letting fans know in the Champaign area that you could go meet, greet, get Luke Altmaier's autograph. And I think it's a perfect, I don't know about you, Kev. I think it's a perfect sponsorship for the show.
Oh, it's 100% completely symbiotic, dude. And it makes complete sense. It really makes sense, is that we've just got this alignment in the folks who tune into our show and what Jason is doing and what the memorabilia side of things are moving for, and how it can promote not only the university but the athlete, and help our sports programs grow. Like Illinois fan says, we're charging for autographs now. Yeah, so is every other university, right? Yep. So is that's how you drive the NIL. That's how you make it an attractive place to play. And Lord knows we have made basketball a really attractive place to play. We need to work on that on the football side. And I think this can be something that not only we can help promote what they're doing. I think it's more on that side, but also we can get some of these guys on our show, get you some feeling for who they are as human beings. I think that's one of the things that the Illini fandom rallied around Terrence so much, is because we had seen what kind of human being he was, and we really wanted to support that. But there's so many of these guys that have a helmet on Saturdays that you don't even know what they look like in the real world. And if we can find a way to promote the organization, if we can help make Illinois football better, and I'm all for it. I'm really excited about what we're doing here.
Here's the thing, you guys. Who wouldn't want to help our players? Like $20 for an autograph? Yeah, that's a guy that could be slinging it and be an NFL Hall of Famer in 20 years. You know what I'm saying? Like,
my biggest thing is I never wanted to pay $20 for an autograph if it didn't go to the person actually signing the autograph. But with the NIL now, it can, right? So
yeah, so that's what I'm. So, and I want everybody to know this: Jason doesn't keep a dime of that money. I just want you guys to know that. So if you're paying $20 to get Luke's autograph, he gets $20. So, like, to me, I'm cool with that. Like, and again, no one's making anybody do it, but that's the point, is that it's just optional. And I think, honestly, too, I think, let me put this. There we go. All right, so
yeah, he can get the fuck on. So
yeah, for real. Mm-hmm. Hey, but thanks for subscribing. Anyway, yeah. So anything that promotes them and their success on and off the field, but also too, you not only get to know the player, we're still going to talk to them about their off-season workouts, and we're going to ask them what their thoughts on the upcoming season is. How, here's an example. I would ask Luke, like, well, how important was it for you over the summer to skip the Manning camp and stay around and become a leader for the season? Do you, what kind of things did you gain from that? Fun things, like interesting things like that matter.
It's the same way that you and Dre have, like, your relationship is more from podcaster, basketball player to friend. Like, I mean, I really believe that Dre sees you as a friend now, and a guy you can talk to, right?
Yeah. So, I call him my little brother, man. So that's, and that's just kind of how it is. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think he looks up to me in some ways, and I always talk to him like I would a little brother. I don't have one, so I'm the little brother. I have a big brother, so
it's the same way when like when I met Cal Swanson at the game and talked to him after the game, like, he was so honored that somebody would want him to be on a podcast. And he is such a great young man. And I hope Cal can find a place at Illinois, and I hope it works out. But regardless of what happens with Cal Swanson, I'm a Cal Swanson fan because of his family and who he is as a human being. And so it is really pretty interesting. So that's cool.
DGL. Oh my goodness, people!
Don't.
I know. See, here's the thing, you guys. It's that the envy and the jealousy. It just shows itself so much. It's sad. It is, but it doesn't. Nothing brings me down. But if I were to pull up and show our text message thread, then what? Then you look like a clown. The clown you are, I guess. So, but it's all good now. Moving on, and guess what? Big Mo, Big Thirsty. We got Reese in the house. Maurice. He's been having some fun on X, which with some specific people out here who've been clowning and trolling the Illini fan base, and but I'm glad
not worth our time. Move on. Let's go.
I told Maurice if there was one person I'd go into a debate with, if it wasn't Kevin, it'd be him. So, and I mean it. Now let's talk about what we've seen. Most important thing I think everybody here is they care about is the Illini hoops. Just how much talent that we see. And guess what? Will Riley's not even on campus. I believe Big T has either got in tonight or he's supposed to be early this week. I would be shocked if he's not on campus in the next 48 hours from what I'm hearing. So
can I just share this? Like, there was a moment in the practice and I was watching it and I was like, oh, who was that guy? Oh, wait a second. That's Kerry Booth.
Yeah.
That guy's a top 40 recruit 2 years ago. Like, he has a tremendous skill set. And Kerry, I love you, my man. It is not what I'm trying to say here, but frankly, it was like an afterthought for me. Like, this team is freaking loaded with talent, man.
I know. Let's say this. In the last couple of years, we'd watch those videos, right? You'd be like, all right, that's cool. Terrence doing his thing. All right, yeah. Damascus. But like this one, it's like find a weak link on there. You're like, wait a sec. Dre's hitting contested fadeaway 18-footers. Like Kasparis is out there silky smooth, hitting just 30-footers with hands in his face. Merez is running, catching one hand, freaking oops in transition.
Jake Davis is doing a look away pass to Jactus for a dunk. Like,
yeah, who's top? He's like hanging on rims. Jactus is. You got Kerry Booth, and then Humrickhouse hitting corner threes, and then Humrickhouse is backing them down and getting the up and under one, and one with the pump fake. Then you got Ty Rogers hitting contested 17-footers. You got him hitting fadeaways in the lane. I mean, okay, and we haven't even mentioned Will Riley or Big T there yet.
Yes.
And remember, I know it's going to be hard once as more of this gets round how good Kasparis is and Riley and how much Dre's improved. But I really want the media poll to pick Illinois like 5th or 6th so Brad can get that Coach of the Year. It's like pick them 5th or 6th, please. Because if they don't and they pick them 1st or 2nd, then when they do win a bunch of games like they do every year, then he's not going to get it again. It's like what does Brad got to do? And then that's so, you know what I'm saying? Like, throw him a bone just because he wins the most games every year. Like, leave him alone. Like, I guess Illinois set themselves a standard where that's not good enough. I guess. I mean, I don't know, Kev. You tell me. What's Brad got to do to win one?
I agree with you, but I'm just going to chime into Illinois fan here. That Booth didn't have any range. He was only close up. He could only do it from
Calvin Booth. Yeah, his dad. I remember that guy.
No, but somebody said in the chat that all the Booths are good shooters. An Illinois fan,
John Wilkes Booth. John Wilkes Booth was a good shooter too. Yeah.
But he didn't have any range. He had to be up close.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. That's pretty funny, man. I appreciate the humor there. Yeah, I mean, it was just one of those things. You watch that tape, and honestly, I think Humrickhouse is going to be probably the leading scorer on this team, is what my guess would have been before watching that. And I'm like, he performed well in that video, but you just saw it's going to be.
Here's my question for you, Kevin. I posted it in the. Here you go. You answer this. I'm posting it on the screen here. most talented Illinois team since. Let me edit that. But yeah, there you go. There you go. Bam. Bam.
01?
Okay.
01?
Yeah. Okay.
I think from 1 to 10, the 2001 team was probably a more talented team than the 04-05 team. And I know people might think I'm crazy, but that team that team fouled out 8 players or something like that in the Elite Eight game against Arizona, and we're still holding their own.
Yeah.
I just think that team had so much talent top to bottom. And then you go 01-02 right there with it. The 04-05 team 1 through 5, 6 included Ingram. But then McBride was a decent player. But that's where I would lean. And that's a jump to say that because we're gonna have to see it on paper, but on the court as opposed to on paper, that's where I'm kind of like leaning that this could be.
And I twice in the last 3 weeks I've gotten to be on with Mark Tupper at Sport Talk, and he asked me a fun question last week. He said, "Ryan, let's talk about their starting lineup, but let's also," we went down those, like, let's start, who would start for you right now? We went into the whole, well, Ty Rodgers is his guy, and I just don't know if we could see Ty coming off the bench. But I'm like, well, with as good as Kasparis is, I don't know if he's going to be off the bench. And Will Riley, just 2 guys are already in next year's 2025 mock draft. Right. Will Riley and KJ. I want everybody to know that KJ and Will Riley are already in the next 2025 ESPN mock draft. Just want everybody to know that. So, and that's to say is like Merez Johnson is a guy that nobody should ever not talk about much, but he's just going to be a guy on the team, know, and like that's scary. That's scary when Merez Johnson's just going to be we only need you to rim run, run the floor, guard 2 or 3 spots. And if you get an open 10-footer, take it. Other than that, just,
block a shot and rebound like a damn animal.
Yeah, right? Rebound. And we got guys that can make shots. We're good, So it's like, that's scary. And I think Big T is another one that he's just – think about this. He's 7'1", and he's left-handed. When's the last time he has, and he's been playing against, I think he had like 12 or 14 points last year against the USC team in the summer. They had a summer game against his team. I think he had 14 points. I think maybe 6.
And he adds just like that level of like, he's a man. That's a man.
Yeah, that's a man. Yeah.
Oh. And I think that's critical for this team.
I like the answer, 2001. Yeah, like that was one of that might be my favorite team of all time, even over the team that lost in the national title game. And remember, I was 2 when Illinois lost in the Flying Illini lost, so I didn't really get
the Flying Illini team will always be my favorite, and partially because I was 10. It's just it's just one of those things, but it's. And somebody asked who was on that 0001 team. Frank Williams.
Let's start. How about this? Brian Cook, an underappreciated Illini. Brian Cook.
Yeah, Frank Williams, Brian Cook, Marcus Griffin, Corey Bradford, Sergio McLean, Robert Archibald, Sean Harrington, Lucas Johnson, Demir Kapalia. That was your 10, right? That's 10 guys. And like Demir Kapalia should have been an NBA player had he been had his body held up, right?
Yeah.
And you got guys like Sean Harrington, Lucas Johnson, Robert Archibald, and Demir Kapalia coming off the bench. And that's 9, sorry.
And you said Frank Williams obviously was the star of the show, but remember this: Robert Archibald
scored 1,700 points on that. This is unbelievable.
Yeah, Robert Archibald had 2 or 3 years in the NBA. He played for the Phoenix Suns. Corey Bradford held so many, Illini 3-point records, and the most 3-pointers made in a game. Like I think it was like 67. He broke somebody's record.
No, most consecutive games with a 3-pointer, and he broke it against Seton Hall. It was a phenomenal game. But yes, there was just a lot of talent on that team. I do share Illinois fans' concern, like how good will this team be on defense? My thing for it is like for the most part with the Sands Underwood's first 2 years and then last year, he's had good defensive teams. Last year's team was just exposed because we didn't have any size in the middle. I think that's we have that taken up. But at the same time, you look at guys like Humrickhouse and KJ.
Nate Mass. That's right. Can't forget Nate Mass. You're right.
Jake Davis is if he's going to be in the rotation.
We forgot Trey White too.
Yeah, Trey White. Like I think those guys can play defense. I don't think there's anybody on our roster where you're like, that's a great defensive player outside of what I think Merez can be and what we know Ty Rodgers to be.
Dre, Gibbs.
Dre. Yeah, I do think those are – but the rest of the guys, you kind of got a little bit of question mark about how good a defensive player are you, and that can be a concern. And I think that they'll figure it out. So.
Yep. And I got to give our boy Dre Gibbs Lawhorn, man, that dude, like when he told me, hey – this is my summer, man. I'm owning this. Like, he was inspired to be like, I'm playing. He's like, I sat my year. I learned it's my time. And my goodness, those first videos of things I've seen, he's been a guy in every one of them. And that's not just, that's just by a happen chance. They just showed you the good parts. Well, obviously in a highlight clip, they're not going to show you 4 possessions of nothing, but he's taking it serious and so much to be proud of, man. So again,
and then obviously we can't just Ty hits a pull-up J.
Yeah,
he's been hitting threes in some of these videos we've seen. He has. You clearly know that he's got the ability. He's just got to go out and all Ty Rodgers has to do to be hyper effective on offense is at least give the threat that he's going to take an outside jump shot. Just the threat. And it doesn't, guys who shoot 28% from 3 give you the threat. So if you get guys to come out, it changes everything for him. And I think that is what we need to see from him. He's got the defensive and the rebounding ability to be on the floor. The rotations are going to be very challenging to see what Illinois does, how we go. Can we go 9-10 deep? That would be a little bit of an anomaly in the Underwood era. I think we would have seen it last year had some things not happened. Or had we not been so star-laden. I don't know that this team is star-laden. I think this team has stars and maybe guys who have better NBA careers than even, say, a Terrence Shannon potentially. But I don't know that this team is star-laden where you're going to be like, get that guy the ball and let him get 15 for us. I think this team's going to be like, let's find the open man and figure out a way to beat people. So,
100%. I think I will tell you this, though. I think this is going to be I think this might be a second year of one of the most efficient offensive teams in the country. Illinois got here. And let's say this. What we found out last year, offense is going to win you games. I don't think in college it's all about necessarily defense. If you can score at that high clip, Illinois shows you what you can do.
Yep, you played the best defensive team in the country in Iowa State and beat them, and that's true. Hey Ryan, we could dive into this all night long. I am here with family, so I'm gonna turn our show a little bit here, and I'm gonna become the interviewer, and I'm gonna make you the interviewee, if that's all right with you.
Yeah, because we were getting to final thoughts anyway here in a few minutes, but go ahead. I'll let you take over.
So Illinois got a couple recruit commitments on the football side this week.
Mm-hmm.
Got 2 kids out of Florida just yesterday, I believe. Now, forgive me. I was at church camp last week, and then I immediately came out and saw family. I've got family upstairs. They're hanging out. So I haven't been able to follow this like I'd like to. But tell me about these 2 commits. Or did we get more? We might have got 3 commits this week. Tell me about the 4 commits that we got this week.
Okay, yeah. Well, this weekend we got 2. And I'll go over that real quick. And yes, we got one earlier in the week as well.
Right.
So
Schluter or something like that, and then the running back from Florida. Yeah. Tell me about what's the most intriguing recruit we got this week and why.
Sounds good. So I think intriguing. I would say Robert Jones, the third, who just committed from. He was committed to NC State and then decommitted before the Illinois visit. UCF felt really good about him. Like, oh, they thought he was coming there. Illinois wowed him and wooed him. Coach Parker and Aaron Henry, man, he's a believer in them. I think Aaron Henry, who is from Florida himself, kind of
Absolutely.
dug into there and said, look what you can be up in the Big Ten. Look what I did at Wisconsin. Go make a name for yourself. Coach Parker is inspiring. He's a guy that's like, you're going to be great, man. You have no choice but to be great. You're coming, and like he believes in what Illinois has got and what they can do and what they can be. And they got Robert Jones III, which I really like. I think in a couple years he's going to be a big time contributor.
And that was the running back, correct?
No. That was the cornerback.
Okay, all right.
Cedric Weiss is the running back.
All right,
so
there you go.
Cedric Weiss, also another Florida boy from St. Thomas Aquinas. He's a special blend of really good size. Like he's short, but he's got like girth to him. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm trying to remember. He's like Jason Ford, if that helps.
Okay.
Anybody. Yeah, like not as chunky and big as Ford, but he's stocky, but he's short and he's got super burst. Okay, he's got big burst around the edge. So if you watch his highlights, Jason Ford's a guy that it's like he wowed you with like you didn't think Jason Ford could be that quick or get around those corners. And Jason Ford was tough to bring down, and he was quick. But that's who this guy reminds me of. So he picked Illinois over Boston College, and he had some other Power 5 offers as well. I'm thinking. I mean, you said Strotter. I actually interviewed Desmond Strotter.
Yes, you did.
Yeah, I had the Desmond Strotter interview last Monday. But yeah, so Illinois has been cooking really good. I think they're at 45 right now, 45 or 46 nationally. And they've got some other higher rated kids that they're kind of waiting on. There's some flip options coming here that one in particular that could be a surprise, big shocker. And we'll talk a little bit about that on our Discord. And they're not done yet. I think they're going to take between 16 and 18 guys. I don't believe they're going to take 20. I know Bielema said that he's not taking 20 guys for this class. But I like the level, the rating where these guys are technically. I think there's they're averaging, 85, around 85, 86, I think. But they got high-end guys like Braden Trimble and Carson Boyd that are really good. And you got a nice mix with Lovett and Robert Jones, some guys 85, 86 on a lot of these recruiting boards. So I like it. I think if Illinois, Kev, can stay in the mid to low 40s and even upper 30s, you're going to be contending and competing for bowl games every year. So, that's just how it is.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that the adjustment that Bielema has made from an NIL standpoint, and it's probably, let's be real, it's been driven by Whitman to make that happen. But it's changed. All of a sudden, we're winning recruitment battles that we were losing just a year ago. And obviously, the transfer portal is going to remain important on both sides of the campus. But what's going to happen as these COVID kids start losing their recruitment, and that's happening already, this is their last year, it's really going to change the dynamic of where we look for athletes. And I'll get into this more a little bit on final thoughts, but like we had a 5-star recruit in Jasper Johnson just on campus a couple days ago. And, a year ago that would have led our discussion. 2 years ago that would have led our discussion. And today it's like, okay, we got a 5-star recruit on campus. Well, we just got a 5-star recruit to commit. And so I think that that the overall tenor of basketball is changing, and I look forward to football changing. And if we want to continue to drive that, that's where we got to support the sports card sponsorship and Jason and his team and what they're doing, because that can help. That can certainly help. So.
And I forgot to mention, you guys, Eric Gale committed to Illinois in the middle of the week. He flipped from Cincinnati to Illinois.
That's a good win always, dude. That's a good program in Cincinnati. It's a Big 12 program.
Yeah, so that's another flip. Eric Gale came and chose Illinois after his visit last weekend. So 3 commits this week: Eric Gale, Cedric Weiss, Robert Jones III. I put my crystal ball in for all of them. Again, they're not done yet. I think they're going to take at least 2 to 3 more guys if they can get them. But yeah, so that's what's going on in that world. And before we finish it up, Kev, I'll let you start final thoughts because you're going to probably go a little longer than me. So go for it.
Actually, I'm really not. It's just really it's really awesome that Illinois is in a position where we have a 5-star potential recruit, top 10 guy, and Jasper Johnson is a phenomenal basketball player for the 2025 class. And we're just at a point where, like, dude, we're excited. We'd love that kid to be in Illini, but we're not thirsty, if you will, right? Like, to use the kids' term, like we're not. This fan base is like, dude, we're pretty damn good, and we got a pretty damn good class coming in 25. We're gonna, I mean, like, Rickhouse is the only kid I think on the entire roster coming into this season that we're guaranteed can't have 2 years. So.
Yep. Everybody can come back for that next year. I'm telling you, Kev, they have sold a lot of these guys on.
We 25-26 national championship run.
Yeah, we can be really, really, really good this year, and we can be a Final Four type team. But I think next year you add Jeremiah Fears into the mix, and let's say you only lose. I don't think Kasparis and Will Riley will both come back, but I think one of them will at least come back. That's just my opinion. Especially
if they both go, it's because they performed, right? They showed what they're going to do.
If Illinois, let's say Illinois gets to a Final Four and they both leave, is anybody going to really complain? I mean,
not at all.
No.
You're going to be excited, especially if guys end up moving into lottery picks, because that's the one thing holding Illinois back right now is that we don't have a lot of draft pick success. Terrence was our first round draft pick since Myers Leonard. So that is huge for this. This program is ascending in the right direction, and I'm really excited what football is doing. And I'm excited to see some more practice tape from the basketball side of things. I'm excited for fall camp to open up in a month or so, and it's just
best time of the year.
Yeah, the athletic programs at Illinois from the major revenue sports, I'm leaning to being a little bit more bullish and optimistic on the football team. So that's that, and I'll turn it over to you, my friend. I have seen this question asked a couple times. Newton, Johnny Newton's brother. We're gonna get you got the crystal ball in there, correct?
I do. I'll mention this and then just finish up with my final thought. So Newton sounds like he's going to be waiting more towards the football season, fallish. I think the fact that Illinois is going to give him a shot to play quarterback, but I think he wants a guarantee that he wants to play quarterback really bad. And if he can he's got other schools that are saying they'll let him play quarterback. So if he doesn't get a Florida State offer, which I think he's waiting on, I think he's eventually ends up picking Illinois. But if Florida State offers him, which is possible, he might go. I haven't changed my crystal ball because I feel like that I don't think Florida State's going to offer him and ask him to play quarterback. I just don't. So,
and I what I've seen from him, I don't know that Illinois should offer him as a quarterback, to be honest with you, to make that guarantee. I think I see an athlete. And
so if I miss on the crystal ball because he wants to go somewhere that'll let him play quarterback, more power to him. You should bet on yourself. That's okay. But that's what's up with Newton. So I want to piggyback and finish up with I appreciate everybody who's jumping on the shows, like YouTube subscribers. You guys are doing it. We appreciate you. Keep subscribing. The channel's continuing to grow. As you know, we're going to get more and more players and interviews, and the info is great. We try our best to hook you guys up every week, and I hope you enjoy listening to me and Kev. We just want to make this channel bigger and better every month, and you guys make it fun every week. Thanks again to Jason Givens, who's going to be our sponsor starting in August. Those things hand in hand are great. It's going to be helpful for the players. It's obviously helpful for the show, but the fans really are the ones that went out. Because not only do you get to go meet and greet the players, you get to listen to them on here. You talk about, and so it's a win-win. So I appreciate that. Everybody who's making this show and something me and Kevin love to do. And finally, follow along with me at MikeFarrellSports.com again. I'm excited to get it rolling. And I promise you, the Mike Farrell Sports Recruiting, keep your eye on that. If I'm involved with it, it's going to be rocking. So follow me along there. Other than that, swap me out.
ILL.